So lapha uthi mhlawumbe uhulumende wethu doesn't
for
have the
statement esiphumile from i-Ministry of Education akutshengisela i-lack of political will, because for me ungavela ukhayele la sentence our vision, affordability, quality, it goes against what you just said. And i-ministry yona ayisiyo eqhatshayo, kuqhatsha i-Public Service Commission technically. So laphana bese kuthreatena ama-teacher. It's unfortunate. That's what I'm saying with the whole ministry.
Lapha sokhuluma ngelokho zen
nge-circular ephumizolo from i-minister.
Yeah, interesting. Mlaleli siyakwamukela lawe lapha ehlelweni, sicela ukuthi usitshele ukuthi ucabangani ngendaba esikhuluma ngazo namhlanje. Uyasithumezela i-voice note kumbe i-WhatsApp message ku 077 4460100 077 4460100. Sidinga i-text message yakho, i-voice note kumbe ukuthi usifonele nxa usenelisa sizwe ukuthi ucabangani. Namhla sikhuluma khathesi ngendaba yababalisi. Uhulumende uthe uyabanika nje okungabakhanga ukuthi babuyele emsebenzini. Wabuya njalo wathi labo abade bengekho emsebenzini uyabaxotsha. Wena ucabangani ke njengomzali? Usithumezele i-message usibona usitshele ukuthi ucabangani. Siqhubekela phambili ngendaba yena le eyababalisi. Most of them sebe supplementa i-pay yabo ngama tutorials kumbe singathi ngama extra lessons, and a number of us besides nxa izikolo zingavulwa anyway siyafunda abantwana bethu bahambe for those extra lessons just to make sure ukuthi khona they are really getting enough of the information that they need bengahlali kuma exams. Uwabona njani wena ama extra lessons? Are they necessary evil kumbe asesiba corrupted in the manner in which ababalisi asebasebenza ngawo? Because for example mina ngilomzukulu wami engihlala laye ofunda at one of the high schools, local high schools. Uthi umbalisi we-accounts ubatshela ukuthi nxa ungasabuyi vele kuma extra lessons angeke ngufundise lapha eklasini, kumele ubuye kuma extra lessons. So umntwana ugcine sezitshela ukuthi if I don't have that extra cash for extra lessons eklasini angisoze ngifunde even ebhadele i-school fees. Wena ubona njani indaba ama extra lessons?
Yikho ngesithi first and foremost nxa singazwisisana singabazali ukuthi ubhadela i-fees awubhadala nge-fees. I-fees kayisiye bhadala u-teacher, if we can understand that. U-teacher ubhadalwa yi-government, u-teacher kabhadalwa yisikolo. But as a parent, umlando wakho usunjani usuwenzile, and it's unfortunate the government is also playing its part, but clearly it's not good enough. And for me, you can speak ngakhuluma ngisemsakazweni ngikhulume ngobubi bangikhona angithi because it's a disservice to those who do not have imali yangikhona. Kodwa eqinisweni nxa sukhayela umntana wakho ngendlela ilizwe lingakhona, you need to push for umntana wakho. And for me, it gets me thinking, kulelokho esikubiza sisithi across the region where education is validated, obosakha nxa usegoli London. Clearly ZIMSEC is being compromised. Clearly it's been outside COVID, where we know the whole region, the whole globe, ibile inkinga yani education, and everyone is having a challenge yani online. But the frequency of strikes is ZIMSEC. It cannot be the best examination board to prove competence in the region, and that is the reason why why other people say in Cambridge, but unfortunately we can't afford that. So it's feasible if umzali and you can work extra hard in this era, in these 10 years you rather push for Cambridge over izimseka.
So sesebenza double lapha, it's either you're paying in fine fees ayibhadala imbalisi, but utisha nxa umzali nxa ekhupha imali uzitshela ukuthi is to effect that education yomntwana until it goes towards that, then extra lessons, and then ama exam fees ona lawa eCambridge. Nkosi yami siyaphephelaphi sicela imbono yenu balaleli ku 077 4460100 07744600100. Isikhathi sethu singo 22 minutes past 11. Ubusiphathelele ukudaba namhlanje mamolo.
Hayi kwabulawayo bakithi.
Uqala ngokuhleka.
Ayi ngikuthi ngeke ngaphela amandla bakithi ivikile edlulileyo bekunini ngeTuesday sasizwile ukuthi kule tender le khona abantu asebephiwe le etwa yi-triple T yangikhona le parking. Ama-prices angikhona abahle bafikela abafana kobo OKJ Senimoyo utshelwa ama-$2 e-1 hour. Khona be-advertiser uzwe kuthiwa i-8 hours from 8 to 5 is $16. $16 inyanga esiyaphela emalini 320 US ngeparking nje. Angazi inqengethuka and I'm resistant to change kodwa hayayaya I really feel it's extreme. Council, I remember Mama Unesisa said something to say fees lawa they are reviewed across the board comparing with other cities and all. But still I feel they're very exorbitant. So angazi kwabanye abahlali bakobulawayo
kulabo osukhulume labo abachayelayo bathini bona ngakho because mina nxa sengikukhangela ngiyazibuza ukuthi bathi singasangena edolobheni ngezimota yini because nxa ngingena etown ngingena for ilanga lonke angithi when I park my car I'm expecting to spend the whole day. So are they saying ukuthi I should always have US dollars enough for that one day? I understand it's $16 a full day. So let me break it down for you according to tweet le sayibona from Residents Association, Bulawayo Progressive Residents Association bathi $320 parking bill looms for residents. 10D3 Investments, which is the company runner this parking tender, is currently piloting the city parking meter project. Parking costs are as follows: a full day is $16, 2 hours is $4, 1 hour is $2, and 30 minutes is $1. Khonapha ngiyacabanga ukuthi sure mina ngiyaye ngiswele idola yokuthenga lunch. Sometimes uswele idola yakugada umchova travel. Umuntu ophakayo omunye abethela ifuel ye$5 emoteni yakhe. $16 yokuphaka ilanga lonke uzayithatha.
I guess the mentality is if you can own a car and drive a car, surely you can afford parking.
So basically bastate sekatuzuku. Ngamafitshane.
Okay, but in all honesty, this is nothing new. To be honest, this is nothing new if you compare how the region has been.
But why charge it in US dollars? We are an RTGS country.
Bavumile ukuthi balama swipe machine and you can swipe
at what rate? At an official US dollar rate?
It should be official bank rate.
Because that is not specified. So advert in US dollar terms as if that is the official currency. What are they communicating to the ordinary person?
The same way all companies run even by state and government individuals are charging in US. It's time in Zimbabwe we know what vele i-pricing yama-US. I-council nxa ingazange li-charge nge-US ibona ngobani. So I really get it. That's why I'm saying maybe we're resistant to change. Maybe we're not prepared. But because Harare price yankhona nale. This was better. Yamadolo nalawa, which is like what? Ngathina kuma 90 or 100 kobo December khona.
Yeah, looking at Harare, here look at the traffic in Harare. Look at the kind of businesses that are in Harare, and you're comparing it with a city like Bulawayo. Of course, we are second compared to Harare, but shouldn't there be somehow gauge how big is our city, how much is our traffic, and what is our economic ability for our abantu to afford a parking enjalo? Because you can't, I don't think it makes sense to rate a big city like Harare parking yabo njengeyako Bulawayo, because our parking space is not as bad as in Harare. Harare is as expensive because vele ungena le moto yabo ukwazi ukupark uzathwala nzima.
And for Harare, for me, what I would say, Harare iba ngcono ngoba yabukwazi ukuthi kubo Avondale there's something angithi uhambe kubo Eastleigh kubo Semlevy, there are all those malls where you can do your shopping without ungabayanga edorobheni ngoba koBulawayo nqa ngasafika ngako SCBD ngokwakhe uyangapi. I totally get that, but at the same time kufanana lokuthi sithi kule sinkwa kumele lesenzelwe abantu beHarare ngoba they can afford better ukulesa inkomo esidlo ngabantu bakobulawayo.
No, but that's different. Isinkwa phela it's a basic need. It's like life.
No, ngiyakuzwa but
Parking, it's not like that.
My issue has been on this. That is 2.2 million invested in that project. Ngizibuza ukuthi it's unlike kuthiwa kuyakho imigwaqo or anything. And council is benefiting 30%. Ngizibuza ukuthi izigcinga lezi ezithengwe eChina ziprogramme. Abafana laba, I'm assuming vele the vendors abasipha ama ticket, usually it's on commission. Why sikhala kangaka? I mean, how did we even get there? But of course, for me, the train has already left the station. But for me, you can't ngizibuza khona ukuthi 2.2 million sure for khona izigcinga zonezi. You know, I had discomfort around that. So yes, I have discomfort, sisibusi ngeqinisweni lami lama discomfort, and izupho kala capacity. Singaze sithi abantu abahambe kuzupho, we know uzupho akala capacity. We've talked ngendaba kazupho over time.
Ungabe ulolwazi ukuthi imali yama parking isebenza ngaphi njani? How does council use those funds?
I might not know. All I know, remember, i-council ke yafika yathi they need 700 million US ukulungisisa the 2,400 road stretch koBulawayo. And as it stands, kufanana la nxa ubhadala ama bill yakho akutshela ukuthi kule sewage kule rates omabhimu. Right now as a city we don't have an account for road. Siyamelela izinara. My assumption ukuthi imali le iyancedisa emgwaqweni. My assumption.
So that explains why besibona imigwaqo ivalwa ipendwa
benzela iparking athi basithanda.
Yeah, amagodigodi yes, so fine sizapaka but nxa sesuka ku parking amagodigodi is driver
guys, you know, to be honest, being a Zimbabwean, you get frustrated every day ngoba ngokubuya kwezulu lokhu. And what hurts me the most, i-council nxa ibuya, I don't know who told city council ukuthi ukulungisa imigwaqo ukufika ufaka ama-shapes, basika ama-square, ama-triangle, then kufaka ichebechebe, izulu selibuyile, amagodi they are worse off. Yeah. Surely we need more from council. Surely we need more. And it's as if ababoni bafuna ukuzubalandelela ukuze bevale ngitsho la ngechebechebe ukuthi umgwaqo sonakele.
Yeah, kunzima. Nxa usanda ukuxhumana lathi ulokho uSky's Metro FM sesehlelweni lwe amakhosikazi media called Women's Newsbeat. Lapha sikhangela khona indaba ezenzakaleyo evikini edluleyo ezipe lodumo kakhulu on our social media and on our most vibrant media platforms. Ngilo Mamoyo lapho manyathi uthi khona ke nelisango ukubuya Mamoyo. So namhla yimi lawo sibambe estikini namhlanje kodwa abalaleli labo sibakhangelele ukuthi khona bazaxhumana lathi through WhatsApp, voice notes and text messages as well. Sifuna ukuzwa imbono yeni mayelana lokuvula kwezikolo, abantwana bebuyela nje ababalisi bengekho esikolo, lokuthi uhulumende sebuye wathi laba bangazange bafike ezikolweni nje izikolo zivulwa, they have been suspended for the next 3 months and without pay while investigations happen. So ababalisi akade bengekho emaklasini nje sikhuluma nje basuspendiwe bengelahola basoze bahole for the next 3 months. Uhulumende saphenya udaba lokuthi kungani bengahambanga esikolo besiyafundisa abantwana. Then sase singena endabeni luka council leli olwama parking rates ase-qansile haya kuma US dollars, $1 for 30 minutes, $2 for an hour, $4 for 2 hours and $16 for the whole day. Ubona njani wena nxa ungumchayeli into ongayenelisa nxa ungena edolobheni namhla uchayela uyenze njani parking ukutshontshela kumbe uyikhuphile imali ka council? Ubona njani wena uzenelisa yini? Siphezu kwa council Mamoyo ama rates akhwelile, ubonile ibudget entsha 23 billion 863 million 515,157 dollars i-budget. I think it's RTGS i-approved budget ka-government eka 2022. Hey, kunzima.
Mina I always prefer having those figures in US dollars. Ngoba
Ngoba lapha
lingakhohlwa
siyavala
ukuthi
valeka.
ngo-October, you know these figures avalwa, and the time singabantu sizu 23 billion ngiyakwazi abanye sebesithi yonke le, but liyakhumbula ngo-October ngiyona even i-auction yayisesekobo 85-90. As we speak, we're speaking about ama 220. Inflation has doubled. So I always prefer, even if government has not made it as a standard, to say let's use US dollar. If you said to go to cancel budget, what was there last year in US dollars is still the same. Summer bond, billion. And at the same time, if fuel, take for instance, if fuel is like a 50 cents, you go 120, and we're speaking on an average of $150. Yes. So izinto zikhwelile ngitsho la ngama US. Yilo yikho into ebuhlungu.
Yo, so let me break it down for abalaleli bethu in terms of what it means for them nxa bebhadala amanzi. So property rates, our domestic properties will increase by 150%, non-domestic rates by 177%. So 150% kusho ukuthi mhlawumbe nxa ubhadala 1000 bond suzabe ubhadala 2500 bond. My daughter, because that's 150%. And then water rates lawo seqanse 150% for domestic use. Sewage fees 150% as well. Solid waste management layo 150%. And then permits shops, liquor licenses, garage licensing, trading permits uqanse 450%. Council rented properties aqanse 250%. Ukuthengisa kwe-pit sand labo precast products, they will increase by 626%. Ubuza ukuqansa kangaka kuzophosa so ngani kubanga kubo 1000%. Kunormal yini mama?
It's very normal. It's very normal, guys, because the last item of pits and land construction is very high and hype, and it's high demand. And akula muntu othenga ichebechebe yona le ngani ngebond. So i-council nxa sichovile ama inflation rate lawo, and ubuhlungu sizabuza 1-2 months kusiyafika u-3rd 4th month ngokukhwela kwezinto labo sebemele ukuthi government approve sebesibhadala amasenti wona la besibhadala. And my issue has been
it makes sense nxa sesikhangela nje ama-figures le-inflation. But kanti inflation iqansa one way yini mamoya? Because khanya ngani kukhwela ama-rates lento thina omele sisibhadale but i-salary ayikhweli. So what must happen?
What must happen kumelele yikho sikhuma ngendaba ye-government and civil servants, because I remember statistically go 2008 ngale with 75,000 people who civil servants yibo abaholayo. The rest of the people bakuma informal. So it's difficult. It's very difficult. And ukunanzelela ukuthi every time nxa kukhwela khathesi government ngo-November December ikhuphe wona lama COVID $100 okuma pension civil servants landani. If you notice inflation ukuthi ikhwele kanjani ngitsho la ngesinkwa. And guess what? Ngaze lithi lifuna ukukhwezela imali. I-purchasing power does not increase. That's one thing about Zimbabwe. Ungathi uthola $1 uthi semfuna uhola $2. Ube wathi $2 yona leyana, you could afford a loaf of bread $1. $2 leyana oyicelileyo will still afford the same thing. So I think sigijimisa ama-figures singa understand the economics of the matter. Let's talk about the purchasing power. So for me, even if singavuka sithi ama-teachers sesibaphe $50 uthi behambe esikolo, kodwa sengikwazi ukuthi umchova sengukada ngani nge-20 cents. So it's about purchasing power more than ama-figures.
Khona into khona, if you have noticed, nxa iholo lika-civil servant liqansa
yonke into iyaqansa.
So kukhangana kubalance.
So bangaze bephe ama-salary abo. Namhlanje government ivuke isithi ngiyalipha ama-540 lewathatha ngama-bond. Trust me, everything goes up
to match that increment.
Yes, to match.
Yo, ama-message ami ngane kawangeni. I'll be patient. Mbona ngani kukhona umele kulungiswe lapha kumbe i-network. Ngiyacela lisithumezele imbono yenu ku 0774460100. 0774460100. Ubona njani wena ukuqansa kwama-rates mostly by 150%? Vele wena kukanti ulesikwelede yini kukhansili singanani? Njalo nxa ulesikwelede usuzenelisa yini ukuthi usimeche leso sikwelede plus i-increment le ebuyayo plus i-interest yakhe ukhanseli? Hey sakhamuzi sako Bulawayo, ngiyakudabukela, ngiyakukhalela, lami ngizikhalela ngizwela, ngoba nxa ngikhangela isikhwama sami ambona ukuthi kusahlangana, so kumele ngiyokhalela umqhathi wami ukuthi lama ngathi uthi xaxa ipay yami. Kahle sithathe ikhefu kancane, ngisakhala indaba yama messages lapha ukuthi yindaba ngingawaboni. Something is wrong, I don't know. Ngicela ungibuzele ukuthi ama messages ngathi indaba ye registration process. So iZimbabwe Electoral Commission isivulile njalo indaba yokuthi kuregister, but nxa sikhangela kakhulu intanga yethu kayila ma IDs. Uhamba njani, ba register njani bengela ma IDs? I'm assuming a lot of us are already registered, or many of us are already registered. So kuseleke uluhlu lolwana abelukade lungavotanga within the last 5 years, maybe bomele ba register, but abaningi bangikhona babe registered ngaphandle nxa sebethuthile lapha ade behlala khona. Kodwa kulabo abade bengelasithuba kwenziwani ngabo mama?
Yes, I would like to speak specifically on my first time voters. Laba ngontanga abancane from 2000. And uzananzela ukuthi yibo who are heavily affected ngendaba yani yezithupha, ngoba ukubuya kwe-COVID kuhle kwavala i-capacity lama office. And uzezwa koBulawayo as it stands, uzafica ukuthi i-target is 40, but ku-queue uzafica kuthatha only 20, abanye futhi babengena ngamuva kwesivalo. So in a city with over 1 million, how do you expect documentation iyenzakala? But for me, I always say issues of political will. There's lack of political will. Ama processes lawa are a basic human right which everyone should be able. Omelanga ucabanga ukuvuka ukuywa should be a thing where you just wake up today and you just go and do it. So siyabonga the process ukuthi they've decentralized so that befikelele eceleni kwethu. But this is the thing. Kufanana lokupha umuntu inhlangelo ungamphanga umhlabathi. How do people register to vote when people don't have what documentation? Ngoba kufuna ama documents izithupha for you to register. And specifically I would like to touch indaba yani my first time voters, because one, since 2000 akula birth certificate obuyiphiwa komsitheli ingela ID number,
which means wonke umuntu la i-ID number.
Yes, umntanami at 4 years la khathesi ula i-ID number. You understand? So now silama challenges. I know the government approved a budget this past week. Labo they are soon to start i-blitz yama ID, but this should not have been a factor, because mina ishengela i-delimitation process ezenziwa which was going to determine our constituencies is happening in 6 months. And my fear is in the documentation azenziwa sesiluzile ama seat in Matabeleland. Remember what I said last week, from 210 seats you would notice ukuthi only 38 seats in Matabeleland, 12 ngubulawayo, Mat North hi 13, Mat South hi 13. Kusisho ukuthi i-representation sisiyafika eParliament vela asila. So kuyenza lokho kwezithupha sesidlulile isikhathi sonesi kuthi ukuthi would have less seats. So mina I really feel okwakhathesi it's time Minister of Home Affairs leze considered indaba yamabhethi. And also kule ndaba le eyenzakalayo specifically in Matabeleland, kule ndaba eGuground, people don't have documentation because they lost parents. And right now asoze, and I like how the president came in and said kule ndaba we can do ama documentation for ama victims eGuground. But where do you get ama witnesses for birth certificate after a massacre? So izinto zonke zonezi yikho nsithi kufuna kunjani ukuhluzwa, yikho nsithi kufanana lokupha umuntu inhlangelo ungakamuphi le ndawo lapha azahlangela khona. How are we pushing voter registration singakalungisi ama nitty-gritties? And by the time slings ama nitty-gritties sesichaye yini isikhathi sani se delimitation, probably we are going to lose a constituency or two. So I really feel it's time the government seriously considered indaba yani yama birth certificate, and number 2 indaba ama witness leyi on abantu abangela documentation bebona ukuthi bakuhluza kanjani.
Indaba delimitation le is there no other way to deal with it, considering ukuthi nxa kungaba stagnant the number that is needed per constituency, kungaconsidwanga ukuthi vele population yendawo nale ilabantu abalutshwane. For example, I think Bulawayo or Matabele in general is densely populated, sparsely populated. It's not compared to other parts of the country. So nxaliza ukuthi lina i-constituency determined by the same number of people countrywide. Does that make sense?
And what is very interesting, can I take your conversation deeper? So you've got 38 constituencies where Matabeleland, I'm sure Matabeleland is a third to half of Zimbabwe geographically.
And it has 12.
No, Matabeleland. 38, yes. Bulawayo it's 12, Mat North 13, Mat South 13. We've got 38 constituencies. Angabalo over women quota. And ukhangela ukuthi economy yethu in Matabeleland were a third to half in terms of resources kind umhlabathi. But more reason we have to talk about evolution. Has it helped? If you go to our scholars, they'll tell you that Matabeleland is underdeveloped and marginalized. So I remember city council ikhuluma city ngesikhathi kuthiwa ama statistics izim states abe census, they'll give you a figure which council will tell you that it can't be true, because ungakhangela ama construction and how the city has grown. So ngama figures khonokho you have suzibuza ukuthi have they been verified, are they validated? Kujongweni nxa usithi kubulawayo we've got such figures and bona ama-town planners abantu abenza service provision bakuthi that is not it. That is an indication ukuthi people are not documented, and that's an indication ukuthi probably there have been errors in census and counting.
And in that case, isikhathi name when it comes to registration thina sakhangela izec blame izec, but is that where the blame should go? And is that where mobilization should go? Are we mobilizing our home affairs enough to say you're not doing your work? Because ungakhangela ama-queues akhona komsitheli lase trade court laphana lawayenze. And my question is it because of COVID? Is the backlog that much?
Yes, definitely it's that much because of COVID. And when I go back to the city, people can even go balama exams but guess what? It's not for the government to decide ukuthi usithatha nini or when. Ungavela ufike 16, it's your right to identity as invaded by the constitution of the land, which is the supreme law of Zimbabwe. Asidingi ukuthi home affairs isitshele ukuthi ngoba khathesi sibevala ngeCovid lama resources. But ngumthetho, ideally right now we've got stateless people. Bangaki obhudi bethu abavela koMatabeleland abangela zithupha lamabhethi abahamba begole abala ngithu lamaphepha. Stateless. And this situation has made people from Matabeleland specifically to be stateless citizens. Ngubani ohlala emhlabeni engela identity of a state.
Bese kuthiwa khona vele abantu bakithi abathanda ukufunda bathanda ukuya egole.
Yes, structural barriers kusiqalisela endabeni ze-identity. Structural barriers aqelela ku-identity. Yona ibhethe lesithupha nqongelaso, how do you claim you're Zimbabwean? Right now you don't even have the privilege ukuya-register ukuyavota.
Kusenjalo ke izec is got a registration blitz that's ongoing. Bayabhoda nje endaweni ezitshiyeneyo beregister abantu. Kuyasiza yini lokho nxa abantu bengela ama-ID kumbe nje yikuphongulahlisa ukuthi kuthi hayi lathi kukhona esikwenzayo?
Yikho ngitsho ukuthi uqhubela njani umuntu enhlangelo kungela indawo yangikhona yokulima.
Ungamphanga.
First things first, Home Affairs was supposed to run that blitz. Or possibly Home Affairs lapho kulezekho kube lo muntu
kumele kube joint operation.
Kube joint operation. You can't separate the two.
Home Affairs.
Yes, you can't separate the two. So I would prefer scenario, because imagine how, the same way we talk about Amaboda as one-stop shop is the same way we should be talking about a one-stop shop when people are accessing identity and registration. Uthi nxa umuntu ehamba lapha othiwa uyaregister uyavota ebekwazi ukuthi ngizabhalisa ini isithupha, even if it means liphepha umuntu sesiyakhiwela ini iplastic eliyilo, the same way siphiwa ama-temporary driver's license. So if it means, because I know the government is going to talk about issues of resources, that has always been the excuse. ukuthi hayi khangelani with over like right now there are over 1,000 2,000 centers on Isaac mobile. And obviously kobulawayo uzawunanza ukuthi nxa lo mtshini owodwa landlani, but nxa kukwanisa umuntu ukubhalela isithupha landlani, what could stop that? And at the same time you ask yourself, I remember kubele ndaba of a specific ward in Harare where voters roll will prove ukuthi i-address emabhoreni labantu abayi-40 with the same ID number be-register ka-40. So wena ubuza umbuzo ukuthi indaba abantu vele bengakhuthazeki, people will tell you ukuthi already sebe-registered abafuna ukuba-register. Singaze sithi bekulama-loja landlani, you find some irregularities at times. So nxa abantu bengakuzwisisanga kwachasisa ukuthi kuhamba njani, you tend to be suspicious of the system.
Yeah, kunzima. And it seems like there's now mistrust between uhulumende wethu and the citizen, because you don't know what you expect, and you don't know where to go to because there's lack of information. Isikhathi sasiku 10 minutes past 12 mamoya ama-message angene lokho sithi waiting for message. So angikwazi ukuthi abalaleli bethu bathini bacabangane and bengihalela ukuzwa imbono yabo on what is happening, the issues that we are raising. Kodwa ke siqhubekele phambili. Have you noticed the level of crime? Fine in Zimbabwe generally, but Bulawayo, have you noticed ama levels of crimes that have gone up so much? And then recently I've noted not direct crime where you are physically manhandled, but where people solicit money for you over the phone and social media. And if you are not an alert person, we are tumeza imali ungakwazi ukuthumezela abantu kanti usutshontshelwe. Have you noticed that?
Yes, a lot.
What has been your experience with that before I read through what I just but over the past week I've been getting from abanye abantu?
Okay, so my experiences, I'm not sure whether this is the right way to say white collar crimes, where you don't need to get your hands dirty, where you don't need to murder someone, choke someone, armed robbery, but utonjangan, nyemets. Those crimes, and these people are well trained, hey, because umuntu awutshethi qhube bisi quotation ukuze si verify itender lakho faka imali engaka, you understand. And for me that's an indication of a problem. Umuntu lo hambile esikolo ma graduate, these are unemployed graduates who understand the jargon of the field, the business, they know all that. And that is what we're having right now. So kufunakala ukuthi especially online sibe more vigilant. Online crimes have not just increased in Zimbabwe but globally because of COVID ichayelele indaba ye-employment esisibusi.
Yeah. So how do you alert someone who is desperate for a job? So the one that made me very alert in the corner. So these guys, they're a construction company.
Oh yeah.
I think here in Bulawayo, they were called by in Vic Falls for a tender to come and construct something, and these guys wanted it urgently. And then they were told to use their own monies to travel, bring everything, and then when they'll be refunded once they land in Vic Falls. So they were supposed to pay, I think, 100,000
what uyani flyer but sile travel agent yethu futhi hamba lobhuka kuyi.
So travel agent lo usebenza lama frost amafoni nje ayi2 lo muntu oyi1 kube labantu abayi2. And so usufona ubook iticket umuntu lana ukubooka athi thumeza imali la. Soon as you send the money phone isichithile nxa ufonela labantu
manje laba baba lomnyama bathe sebethumela batshela ukuthi hayi economy sigcwele topelani for business class khona sizalithumela iticket
because they noticed that abantu laba they are willing to pay this much money.
Yeah.
Wow. So if you need this kind of jobs, ngoba yikho kubhadala ifees, yikho kubhadala rent, uyenzani mama
hambe yodinga egwayo ukhulumela abaphansi nxa kuhluphile dinge i-anointing oil bethi pray in tongues e-church. Honestly, we need a spirit of discernment because everything is the same. Everything is the same. And it's one thing our generation needs. Eqinisweni ungahleka sisibusi, but it's that spirit to discern. To discern ukuthi ngiyatsotsa kuyini. Sesithemba ukuthi inyoka zangakini ziza kuhola endleleni eyiyo. Ngoba this can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Besides that, I remember I made a mistake in ibhadala if last week. Ngizibhadalele yami ingakakhulumi yomntwana. I broke my spectacles and ngathi ngishaya izip it. Guess what? It was a wrong item number. Yathi ifikela kugogo egogo instead of 5 ungafaka u6. Ngathi senzama ukuretriever sengikhona mbona ngithumele kwiphi number. Sengifona hawo umuntu vele wahlathi ndayenda kunotenga ama groceries zvese. Usinsima naso yakho. Bende ezikoleni.
Wena wananzelela much later.
No, ngananzelela ngimelele ukubhadala ifees because the sway machine is down and they say do it via ecocash. So in transferring, ngathumela to the wrong number. So sengilindile 10 minutes 30 minutes.
No, so this person within the 10 minutes 30 minutes wahamba yashopper.
When?
All right. So if it's not true to hamba yashopper, you couldn't and send back process Liana.
I had done it via zip it. So I had to go to the bank and the bank verified the number. So in figure connect, the only thing they could do is to call umuntu wathi ngiyayikhumbula sibili imali le ngidlile and ansela send. And for sure ngibe khangela ku ecocash umuntu vele kasela. The only thing they could do is to block
what exactly?
To block ecocash yabo bamtshela ukuthi ungathola imali le go to connect agent ube kuncedise to activate it khona umuntu lo sizambisela. But I mean you might as well go and buy a new line and move on with your life. But
so
where am I?
They won't lose anything when you're at a loss.
So my point is, if fraud can be by default or by design, mina in my recklessness because of terrible eyesight, I made a mistake. But umuntu nxa isidla imali angakwazi to ivela ngaphi ke bekusithini.
Umumo phela, that's basically what I'm talking about.
Yes, but it can never. Yes, it's desperation. And I'm sure lie wahle because uthwa uhlale ugogo uhle wathi wahamba wahladinga ikhombi ngama 11 wakada Growth Point waye en Richards.
Why sure?
Yes, ukuthi ngesikhathi reverse. Ngathi wathi imali ye-fees ye-university uthi imalini. So yes. So uzananzela ukuthi such issues that is fraud. That is fraud, but actually lami ngangathela ngegwayi phansi. Ngikho ngutshela ukuthi the only thing that Econet can do ikuvala. So for me my issue sisibus ifraud. Ungabona
la yothi abaphansi bamphendulile.
Yeah, mina ngithanthela ngegwayi la yothi abaphansi bamphendulile. But that is fraud. How do you take into ngaso yakho or mismanage ungakwazi? You know, you'd rather have to say someone ukuthumela imali ingasakwani because of ama charges. But that is how our society has become.
Kunzima 4 minutes to 12 isikhathi sethu lapha mama namhlanje sibe staffed of abanye bethu sibe staffed of ama messages ama listeners ethu ngoba khangana hayi bekungangeni lutho lokho si waiting for messages bakithi kodwa ngiyethemba ukuthi basilalele basizwile mhlambe bangasigcinela imbono yabo and also still contribute on our social media platforms at Skies Metro FM at Amakhosikazi Media or Amakhosikazi Media FM on Twitter or Amakhosikazi Media on Facebook and other social media platforms. Lisitshela ukuthi licabangani or just do still send a message on 0774460100 oza ezangena noma mbayimbayi sizayibala sibe kwazi ukuthi licabangani because that helps us to shape a future programs. Sesi wrap up ke mamoyo ngwinokukhangeleleyo ke i-weekend yethu isiseduzane elizweni lethu elilama controversies amaningi kangaka.
Mina guys impilo yami is very simple. Mina ngisebenzele ukuthi ngibone ukuthi umntana wami odlile irent ikhona and hayi khanya ivikile ngimanagile ukudinga imali ye2 kg chicken hayi ngizabe ngichisa inyama endlini ungasenani.
Ubusisiwe ke wena wenelisayo ukuthi uzabe uchisa inyama.
Yikho ngicelebrate ngoba ichiswa suku zonke.
Abanye inyama yabi ngekho kumbe inkuni zokuchisa zingekho kumbe impuphu yokuphelezela inyama ingekho. Balaleli siyabonga kakhulu. Mina ngingosibusisiwe Pepe ngihamba laye uNozipho Moyo othanda ukuzibiza ethi yena unguzayipho ogeza ngepoloni ogeza ngochago ethawule ngepoloni. Manyathi sikukhanukile namhlanje lo machuma ngiyathemba lapha likhona lilunge kakhulu lokuthi lizenelisa ukuthi lisjoin next week. As to our listeners, we're not able to read your messages today. I hope ukuthi nxa isengena bakithi sizenelisa to catch up on what your thoughts were on the virus issues that we were talking about today. Until next week. It's a very pleasant weekend to you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, umlomo wazo